Hello, everybody. I suppose I'm having some kind of planner identity crisis, but not really. I posted in my Instagram stories the other day that I am abandoning the Hobonichi Weeks and I'm abandoning it in favor of the English Hobonichi A6. So I just wanted to come on here and give an explanation as to why this change is happening and just kind of how I'm starting to use this. So I have been such a Hobonichi Weeks fan for like all of 2018, and I brought it with me obviously into 2019. And so it's fine. It works. I'm still keeping this guy around too in case this thing crashes and burns, which so many people messaged me on Instagram in response to that story of like, what is even happening? And but I pretty much told everybody I'm still keeping this around just in case. And also I've been planning in here and I want to archive that anyway. So basically, what I started doing, if you've seen any of the plan with me's in this Hobonichi Weeks, I started doing this where I was putting pretty detailed to-do lists for every single day. And what I found was that I just didn't like the way it looked in the week's setup. And I felt a bit cramped and like I didn't have enough room basically to put in all the detail I wanted. It just didn't feel right doing it in this space. So for a little while, I was playing around with the idea of just getting something like a Stalogy, where I knew it had enough pages for daily planning for an entire year, because I was like, why am I going to spend the money for a Hobonichi if I could just use something like the Stalogy for half the cost? And when I actually took time to really delve into the idea of having daily pages for planning, I realized that the reason I particularly love the weeks is because I get this really nice bird's eye view of a bunch of days at once. And I specifically need that for appointments and scheduling activities and stuff like that, just times that I need to be places. It really works better for me if I can have a bird's eye view of that, especially for future planning things. I don't want to be flipping through a day per page trying to sort that out. That would drive me insane, which is why I have always turned away from, the A6 planner. So when I was thinking about the Stalogy, I realized that while it would be good for what I'm looking for daily pages, it didn't give me any type of bird's eye view. And I really, really need that for appointments. So I started thinking that the monthly pages in my weeks, I basically use this for scheduling. And when I'm making appointments, when I'm future planning, I always flip to the monthly pages of my weeks. And this is how I schedule things. This is how I schedule appointments, vacations, activities, and yeah, this is how I do it. So this, when I put, I always have this section to the left that basically separates and highlights all of the appointment times. So I kind of figured, well, this is repetitive. And this is a bird's eye view that I get use out of, and that perhaps this is the only thing that I need for appointment keeping. And then I thought, well, the Hobonichi has that. It has the monthly views, and then it has, the day per page for extensive task lists that I want to keep. So in the end, I was like, okay, obviously it's going to be the Hobonichi. It's going to work. So I ordered one from Jet Pens, and so I'll show you how how I've set this up. Today is Tuesday that I'm recording this, and I'm planning on posting this on Wednesday, tomorrow. And I received this yesterday on Monday. So what I've done is, here's the current month of March, and I've just put in all of the appointments that I have so far for this month. So this is my bird's eye view. So basically I've got 3 post-it tabs here. So the first one goes to the month. So the second tab goes to this, I don't know what you would call it, like the header page for each month in the daily section. For the header page for March, what I'm using this for is to keep a list of tasks that I want to complete during the month, but that don't have a designated day yet. So basically, when I'm filling out a daily page, I will first refer to the month to make sure I put down any appointments, and then I will flip to the header page to see if there's any of these tasks that I want to accomplish that day. And so that's kind of how this kind of flows for me. So the monthly header page, and then I get into the daily pages. So basically, I'll flip to my weeks here. So if you've seen some plan with me's for my weeks, I've talked about how I like to do laundry on the daily. So I always put something for wash, dry, and put away, and that's for a load per day. So I've kind of put out a separate section here for laundry, and then I have my general task list. So for this, I am just referring to the monthly for appointment times, which I've just kind of written one out up top here, and then the monthly header page for any extra tasks that I want to accomplish. So like I faxed this form today, so I crossed it out of here. And I'm just kind of filling in a little circle at this point for when things are accomplished. And obviously, this is the first day that I've actually used this as a planner. And I've taken this out with me when I went to this appointment, and I've pulled it out and referenced it. And it could just be like the honeymoon phase, but I was getting like jitters, like happy jitters, because I was so excited to be in this because I just felt the functionality of it. So this is lovely, but because this is still the beginning stages of me using this, I'm going to be experimental, for each day until I, figure out something I like, or maybe I'll just switch it up every day. I mean, that's totally okay with me too. I did receive this on Monday the 4th. And so what I did was I just sort of back planned, and I was just playing with a setup. So as you can see, I just wrote like one thing per line. Appointments are still at the top, the laundry sectioned off, and then the rest of the tasks are together. And when I accomplished each thing, I just checked it off, but I don't think I really like doing check marks. And I just kind of did a bit more flourishy type of listing right here, where I did some hand lettering and played with different sizes of letters and that kind of thing. And I think I'm actually liking doing it like this, where it's not just a dry list, adding some pretty. And I think because I'm using this is a Midori MD Diary 1 day, 1 page, and I'm using this for kind of self-care type stuff. But in the daily pages, I am, just kind of playing with lettering and just making it fun. And this is an A6 size too. And so I'm getting these kind of same vibes when I'm working in here. I'm kind of tending towards writing in it this way to kind of keep it fun. So I feel this kind of seeping into this, which is totally cool. So that is how I'm doing it. I am loving the space that I have in here. I love filling out like a page per day and just getting to flip pages more often than in the weeks. And there is, let me see. Oh, I did put in for the 9th. So as you can see here, I put a header for appointments. I hadn't done that, you know, yesterday or today, and I decided I needed to put in a note for this particular appointment, and so I wanted to go ahead and fill that in, and I decided obviously to kind of switch up sizing and lettering, and that's totally fun for me. So I'm cautiously excited about this. I love, you know, how it worked out for me today. And what I did in the weeks with the back pages here, what I ended up doing was I use these back pages for really messy notes. So I'm responsible for the medical care of someone, and I'm always on the phone making appointments, jotting down notes, and I can't do that neatly. So I was using the back pages in the weeks to jot down all kinds of notes when I'm on the phone with people. So I needed a place to do this. In the A6, there's maybe like, I don't know, 12 pages or so of these dot grid pages, which is definitely not enough to handle an entire year. So I just have this extra random notebook with just blank pages in it. And I just got like a pack of these off Amazon. And this is going to be kind of my messy note taker. So I found a way to still keep that because that's pretty necessary for me, because when I'm planning out stuff and making appointments, I need a place to scratch down information. So that has been a great workaround. And yeah, so for now, this has everything that I need. I am excited to keep using this. I'm still playing with a setup. Oh, and this is the first time I've had in English. I did have the Japanese A6, but I ended up gifting that to my sister-in-law because by the time the year started, I just couldn't find a reason to use it, and here we are. But I decided on the English version this time because I didn't realize it, but it has a bigger grid. It has a 4mm grid as opposed to the 3.7mm that's in the Weeks and then the Japanese A6. And I'm a fan of this size grid. I absolutely love the 4mm. So like I said, I'm still figuring out the setup. This is an A6 folio from Maker South. It's in the Sunset Oil Tan Leather. And this is just something that I have on hand. So because I need to protect this immediately, since I started using this immediately, I just threw it in here with the notebook. And I like to keep appointment cards and business cards so I can reference phone numbers and things really easily. And I just have those tucked in here at the moment. So I am going to be playing with different setups. I think I'm going to possibly try out a traveler's notebook. Well, like I am. I actually have a Pocket Plus size, which is the first time I've ever tried that size. I have that on order from Chic Sparrow in a Maverick because I'm me. And I think I'm going to want like a zipper pouch insert for this because I'm not putting any pressure on myself to embellish this at all, but I have thrown down some random like washi tape type stickers that I've just had around with me, and I'm cool with that, but I'd like to keep some decorative stuff on me. So I'm thinking maybe a zipper pouch and this notebook and then this, and I think a traveler's notebook system would work better for that. So I'm going to be playing around with that. So whenever I decide on anything, I will, you know, do another video to show how everything is looking. But that is the change that I have made in my planning. I still am, like I said, keeping this around just in case things change and I feel like I need to just get back into this type of layout. You can see here, I kind of started doing away with the decor and just started, you know, pretty plain planning in here. And after this, you know, this was March 1st right here. This is basically when I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna try for the Hobonichi because I'm not liking the way this is turning out, but I am loving having all of the tasks here that I can check off. And then if I do something that I wasn't planning on doing, I like adding it to the daily, because it's great because I can reference back and know when I called somebody. I know when I made that phone call, especially when they're like, yeah, check back in 2 days or check back in 7 to 10 days. And then I can see when I did that originally. And then, it just keeps me on track. And I wasn't doing that before. Before I was doing it this way, I was just kind of writing the appointments and then not really utilizing the rest of the space so much. I had a random task list here, but it wasn't anything I was really involved in. And when I decided to start tracking a lot of daily tasks, that's when I realized I really needed more space for that. And I really wanted to have separate pages for it. So I normally see more people journaling in the A6 over planning. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I just see it being more popular as a journal. So if you're a fellow A6 planner as well, please let me know. Please let me know how you like it as well, because I am thoroughly enjoying this at the moment. And this is the, it's just the page that came in the package when I opened this up. And I've just kept it as a sort of writing board. In the weeks, I was using a 0.38 Uniball Signo RT1. And because the grid is bigger here, and I enjoy using a bigger nib than 0.38. So I get to go with my 0.5 now. So that's what I'm using in this and totally loving it. So that's it from me, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions or anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.